Well, they show me they can do it when they're banged up. They're missing foundational corner pieces right now. When you're missing your left tackle, your center, your starting corner, your best corner.
Best. Yep.
And you go out there and beat a team with the best receiving core in football, one of the best quarterbacks in football, you show that you can do it ugly. You can do it ugly. Lamar Jackson is showing his MVP form. I mean, that throw to Zay Flowers was unbelievable.
Did we see it while you brought it up?
Yeah,
Did we see the bomb to Zay?
It's a dime.
It just bombs away.
And it's from the pocket. You talk about Lamar and all this.
Flat-footed. He throws it 60 yards.
Clean pocket, too.
Woo. Clean pocket, dime, on the money. You can't throw it better than that.
You cannot throw it better than that.
And you always talk about Lamar being known for being mobile and running the ball and doing all that. They was talking about him as a running back. I ain't never seen a running back throw it like that.
No.
Now, Skip, Zay Flowers is making huge plays. They wanted more from Odell Beckham Jr. He got a little tweak, got a little banged up.
They say he's going to be okay.
They say he's going to be fine. But
Yep.
they got him for December, January, February anyway. They didn't get him for September, so he'll be fine. But, I mean, it was a great win for that team. They're starting to look like the old Baltimore Ravens.
It's vintage Ravens, right? They're always banged up. And whenever they're banged up and they're missing pieces, as long as they have 8 underneath the center, we've watched them continue to just roll, no matter what the case is. It's 7-1 lifetime against the Cincinnati Bengals now. When you look at it, you look at the football game, you talked about Joe Burrow heating up in the second half. What's the one difference between Joe Burrow in that game and Lamar Jackson? There's only one difference in that game: interception. Joe Burrow throws a pick where Lamar Jackson in that offense had 0. They ran the ball efficiency over 170 yards on the ground collectively as a group. We know what he did as far as putting the football in the air. It's that recipe, right? He's 24 of 33, about 240 throwing, no turnovers. You're going to win most of your games when you play that way. When you have 150-plus yards on the ground and your quarterback is around 240, very efficient, not turning the football over, you're going to win the majority of the games. This is why when you talk about great, I don't want to say great because I don't like to use that word a lot, but good coaches in the National Football League, Harbaugh is right at the top. He's literally at the top with Andy Reid and Mike Tomlin. Say what you want to say about Belichick and Sean Payton. Those guys are all right there. He consistently gets hard work out of his teams despite being a lack of talent in certain areas because guys are hurt. He figures out how to win games. They go on the road to Cincinnati. They got Cincinnati's number. So this division, as I picked earlier and you picked Baltimore to go to the Super Bowl, if they continue this way, the AFC, we thought the AFC was going to be this huge juggernaut. The Chargers can't get out of their own way to save their life. Okay, Kansas City is Kansas City and it's kind of rocking a little bit there. And then when you look at, we'll see Cleveland tonight. Other than that, Buffalo, I mean, they played the Raiders. They didn't wow me, even though they put up a lot of points. The team in the AFC to me right now are those people down south in Miami, the Miami Dolphins, along with this team in Baltimore. Those are the 2 teams 2 weeks into the season that you look at and go, they may meet an AFC championship game.
All right, here's why I picked the Ravens to win it all, even over my Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Lamar went through hell last year, and he put them through hell, but they started it, and he finally finished it, and it shouldn't have taken this long. He did get paid, but it was about as ugly as it can get. It got so bad that he was half-hearted in meetings, and I'd never criticized him one moment because they started it. They should have taken care of him 2 years before this because all he did was win the MVP in 20, what was it? What year is that?
19.
I'm going back. Anyway, he won
19,
we're going back 4 years ago. He won the MVP. You can't win the MVP without being able to throw the football, and he was throwing absolute darts that year. Darts. He has underrated arm strength like we were just showing. It's just, it doesn't look like he's trying to throw it hard. It just comes out the way it's supposed to come out. And by the way, before I leave this behind, they added Aguilar, who's not bad. He's just been around. He knows how to play. He just knows how to play. He's a USC guy. This fade route to Aguilar, this was the winning touchdown. If we could see this, this is sweetness, man. It's just a dime. Listen, you have to know what you're doing. This is a finesse throw, and listen, if you're covering Aguilar, I don't think you just say that's just too good.
Yeah, because he puts it. It's a slot fade.
Yeah.
He puts it in a place where only the receiver can get it. Even if you're a corner, you're not fading that far away. I'm not looking to go all the way through his body towards the sideline. I'm going vertical, thinking he's going to continue that way. So where you put the ball, the receiver is the outside shoulder. You know how hard that catch is, over your shoulder, looking above through your helmet.
It's even a harder throw more so than it is a catch because the receiver needs to leave room for error. What that means is there's about a 3-yard cushion that you have from the sideline to somewhere close to the bottom of the numbers. If you get pushed too far to that sideline, the ball's in the stands.
Right.
So you have to now leave room for error, but the quarterback has to be able to throw that ball on your right side, so now you can just fade to it. Yeah. It just drops it in the bucket.
A lot of corners don't know about the red line. See, I knew about the red line because I played receiver.
Imaginary red line.
Imaginary. Well, they put it on the field at practice.
Put it on the floor to practice.
But you know, if you push the receiver off the red line, to Key's point, that's where the quarterback's used to putting it. He's going to put it like you're on that red line. So I knew if I own the red line, it's interception.
So when you see, for instance, just a little football knowledge, though, for those that are listening, when you hear announcers say that was a bad throw by a quarterback, when it's over into the boundary, it's not a bad throw by the quarterback. It's a bad route by the receiver because he didn't leave room for error. He got pushed by Richard Sherman into the water buckets.
Hey, you got to ride. Hey, I'm going to ride the red line. I'm trying to get me a book.
All I know is I got goosebumps when he made that throw because I said that is high-level football. Mind, body, touch, everything works.
And people are the Cincinnati Bengals, that's 2 division games they've lost back to back. To start the season off 0-2, not just 0-2 in National Football League, but 0-2 in your division. It's bad. But they've started 0-2 before, but now you're going into a stretch where Joe Burrow is going to miss extended amount of time because Joe Burrow didn't want to sit the proper amount of time.
He did not.
With the calf injury. You know, I've had a calf injury.
0-2, as Skip like to say, big picture, right, Skip? Big picture. Your Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow find themselves in a tough division because Cleveland,
they're just back.
We don't know what Cleveland is. We assume they're back, right?
I assume Deshaun is back.
We assume that. So now you got Baltimore and Cleveland in the division. Pittsburgh is always going to be tough, no matter this. Mike Tomlin's going to have a ready to play.
I will not at all be surprised if Pittsburgh beats Cleveland tonight at home because I don't see Pittsburgh losing twice in a row at home. Go ahead.
So when you look at it, and I know Cincinnati has had the ability to change their fortunes later on in the season and get hot, but you can't expect that every single year. No. You can't start off 0-2 in the division or 0-2 in the league every single year and think all of a sudden you're going to catch fire. They're in a situation now where this is the type of team that may not even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They may not even make the playoffs.
Okay, so last year they lose a heartbreaker on a kick in overtime at Pittsburgh to open the year. Then they go lose to Cooper Rush in Dallas. And it was Cooper Rush, and they're like, we got this because Dak got hurt in the opener against Tom Brady. And Cooper Rush goes on a run at the end of the game, 4 straight completions, walk-off. It was a 50-yard field goal. So there's not all that much. They're like, oh, well, okay, we get it back. Then they go win 14 of their next 16 and get to the AFC Championship game because that's who they are and that's who he is. But he didn't have a calf injury. And for me, I know when you talk about calf injuries, of all the injuries, I put the B word on that one because it's a B word, right? Because once it starts, I don't know if you had a bad calf or it just nagged. It just nags and nags, and you think it's gone, and it ain't gone.
It makes your legs feel stringy. It feels stringy. It's like your guitar string, and you always feel as soon as you step, you feel like, hey, if I take the wrong step, it's gonna pop.
It's gonna go again.
And when you don't take the time to heal, you have to run for 2 weeks before you ever even get back on the field to practice. And he didn't take the time.
He did not take the time, nor did Aaron Rodgers apply himself enough to getting exactly right, because once the calf gets weakened, the Achilles, if you have any micro tears, it can get weak. Yep. What happened to Kevin Durant in the finals? He had a calf injury, and he comes back a little prematurely because they were in so much trouble, remember, against Toronto. Yep. And what happens? Pop, the Achilles goes. So, again, Joe Burrow, have we been showing him? He threw the last touchdown pass that cut it to 27-24, and then he hops all the way. I don't know how he ran that far, actually. That was a pretty good throw.
It was done.
Yeah.
But it's you get to this point where now you're going into games. If you would have just missed the 6 weeks, the 6 weeks that it took, it would have been annoying. You'd have missed the first 2 games of the season. They probably would have been 0-2 like they are right now, but you would have been fine then.
Yeah.
But since you didn't, now you're going to miss time. Now you're 0-2. The momentum, you're getting crushed. You played in these games. Team's going to miss you for the next 4 games, or you're going to try to play injured and not be as effective.
Hey, if he has to miss 2, 3, 4 games, you could be right about it. I mean, that might be over.
Well, even if he didn't miss, he's not 100% healthy. And a quarterback like this, with an offensive line that every now and then likes to give up the goods, he doesn't have the mobility to get away from him. He's sitting back there like a sitting duck. People are going to pin their ears back to go get him because they know he can't move.
Right? Yeah. Now back to Baltimore. I know they lost J.K. Dobbins, but those other 2 guys, I just watch them. They run so hard. Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, they know how to run, and they will give up their bodies and take yours. They just bash it and crash it and bash it and crash it, and they wear on defenses because they just keep coming at you. And Lamar is a flat-out grown man of a runner because he is put together and stout. Now, he'll slide when it's time to slide, but if he's gashing people on the big 3rd downs, the 3rd and 4, look out, because if he gets loose, he's going to get the 4.5 yards.
His acceleration from start to finish, I don't think people have seen that outside of Michael Vick at the quarterback position.
No.
I mean, it's just he gets it. Whenever he decides and makes his mind up to pull it down and go, you might as well forget it because he sees the lane.
He doesn't look quite as explosive as he looked in his first couple of years. That's fine with me because you don't need to be that, because that leads to trouble down the field because you're going to try to do something that's beyond your means and you're going to put yourself in harm's way. But he runs now when absolutely necessary. He will take your heart. I know how many times did you play against somebody like, I don't know, did you play against him?
Yeah, we played against Lamar.
Yeah.
But it's just how dynamic he is in the open field. Usually you get a quarterback that scrambles every now and then. But when you start to run up to him, it's like, hey, slide or get out of bounds. But when you're running up to Lamar for the tackle, you have to treat it like you're playing a running back or a receiver.
Break down and everything.
You got to break down, and I got to get ready for action because he's so dynamic laterally that he's not just going, he's not just going to go down if he don't have to. He may break it for 80.
When was the last time Baltimore, and I know Dobbins is out, but when was the last time they started a running back that finished the season from the beginning to the end for them?
I don't know.
It's been a long time.
And it doesn't seem to matter?
It doesn't matter.
And they lose top corners and top safeties, and they just plug and play.
But that's the sad thing for the running back market because we can't keep making that point. I want these boys to get paid, but if you keep doing it with anybody you got, J.K. Dobbins was averaging 5.9 a carry over a long time, and right now, Gus Edwards is averaging 6.2.
Maybe Mark Ingram?
Before Mark Ingram, it was his name I can't say on air. He had trouble.
Well, no. I'm talking about with Lamar.
Yeah.
With Lamar.
That's a great question.
From start to finish, I bet you it was Mark Ingram.
It might have been Mark Ingram that year, yeah.
Could be. We will look it up. But up next, we get back to the story in all of sports. Can Colorado continue to win without Travis Hunter at Oregon and against that guy's team from USC? Yeah.
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.